Okay, so I'm glad to see all of you here today. For those of you who don't know, last night I did a secret live stream um, because I got a new microphone. Um, so I did an interview a little while back, and I did a Q&A live stream, and people were complaining that my audio was really bad, and it was. I've been using the same desktop mic for like 15 years or something like that, something crazy. So I decided to invest in a real microphone. And I got it all set up and everything. And I was like, um, this will be great for the next time I do a live stream in like a year. so I was like, well, why not just do one now? And a friend told me, Donnie, he's a mod in various places for me here, was like only like 20 people would show up, so why bother? And I was like, perfect. If I'm gonna test out a microphone, I don't necessarily want a lot of people to be there, but 1,000 of you showed up, which was yet again way more people than I expected. And then we talked for like an hour and a half, just kind of answering questions and stuff. I'll get to your super chat in a little bit. And this morning I was flooded with messages like, what the heck was that? I got a notification for a live stream at 1 a.m. or whatever, and now it's gone because I had left it unlisted because it was going to be a secret. So I decided to make these secret live streams, these unplanned whatever live streams. They are going to be a Patreon reward after the fact. So yeah, if you're not watching this live, you can watch it in full afterwards for $1 on Patreon. But they're not going to be on the channel itself, so you'll have to be at least $1 Patreon in order to see these afterwards. If you happen to catch it while it happens, then great. I don't plan on making these things a regular deal, so don't worry. I'm not gonna turn into a live streamer. But every once in a while, it might be nice to kind of shoot the breeze a little bit and answer some questions and talk about videos or whatever happens to be going on in the world at the time. So expect more of these secret live streams, but don't expect them to be a regular thing, I suppose. Um, how is my audio level and all of that? And does that sound all right? Do I need to move it closer? Let me know in the chat. The chat's on this side, so when you see me looking over there, that's what I'm doing. um, but yeah, I got back from ThinkerCon on Sunday, and that was really cool. It was really cool to meet all of you. There were certain people. There was a couple of people who came specifically for me, which was a real new experience for me. I never thought I would reach this level, and I never thought that I could press a button in the middle of the night to test out my microphone and 1,000 people would show up. But I guess that's my life now. I don't. um, so this will go for maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I set an end time for it. And I've gotten a little better with the live stream settings, so hopefully it won't get too out of hand this time. Um, but let's take a look at some of the questions and stuff. Um, how was it being a teacher? So I really enjoyed teaching itself, which is kind of what I do on my YouTube channel now. Teaching itself was great. All the rest of it, though, if you're not a teacher, you probably don't know this, but there's professional development and committee meetings and uh, being a sponsor for various clubs and paperwork and making sure your stuff meets standards and all of it. All of the other stuff was really not fun at all. So when people ask me, do you want to go back to being a teacher? I'm doing the fun part of teaching now. So would I go back to all the boring stuff? Not necessarily, no. If you want to ask me a question, tag me. That way it'll light up like this, and it's easier to see. But yeah, this is people, are saying another stream, or someone else had said another one. No, this is more or less just an explanation, and I'll do it again near the end, explaining what the secret live streams are and what they will be in the future and all of that. So if you didn't catch it at the beginning, stick around and I'll explain it again. As a red subscriber, I don't do Patreon subs, but I don't fault tubers doing it. Here's a bonus because I enjoy your content. Well, thank you very much, Cynical Driver. YouTube Red or Premium or whatever else they call it now, it does help because the first 30 days I have a video up, there are no ads on it. That's why I do sponsorships. Sponsorships aren't in addition to YouTube ads. They are instead of. So for the first 30 days that you see a video that is sponsored by Skillshare or Brilliant, there are no ads on it. So it's always funny to me when people say, I got a PragerU ad for this video or a Scientology ad for this video. I know you're lying because ads are turned off. Or either that or you have some sort of weird virus. So Skillshare replaces the income that I would have gotten from ads for that first 30 days. That's kind of the deal. But I also do get the YouTube Red during that time. So it's not like that video is a complete wash except for the sponsorship. I get YouTube Red and the sponsorship. So. Whoa, okay. Sorry, it jumps. I discovered this last night. It'll like jump down to the newest stuff. So sometimes I'll miss stuff, and I'll try to get to all the super chats at the very least. Okay, so this question I have answered several times. How's the ferret doing? I want to see the ferret. Wheatley died in June, so there is no single ferret right now. I have two ferrets, Peabody, who's all white, and Atlas, who's white and black silver. So I have the two of them, and they're asleep right now. I kind of wore them out before this specifically so that they wouldn't be wanting to get out. I should make a Discord. I do have a Discord, and it is a patron thing. For $2 you can get in there, which you just happen to give. So if you were to have put it somewhere else, you'd be in the Discord. Okay, so why does my house look so institutional? People comment about my brick wall all the time, and it's an apartment that was built in the 70s. I don't know what to tell you. I don't live in a prison. It's a, let me switch over. I don't live in a prison. It's an apartment with my StarCraft art up there, my workout stuff. It's an apartment. So it's not a jail. It's not a barracks. It's just a really old apartment. And the outer wall is brick. All the inner walls are drywall, and those are the ones that I film up against so that you'll stop commenting about the brick wall. What inspires me to make a video, and how do I find topics? I have a list that I actually showed, and then people started posting it on the subreddit, and I deleted it. These are secret live streams, and the more often you post stuff from the secret live streams, the less often these secret live streams will happen. But I have a list, and let's see if I can get it in focus this time. I don't know if you can read that. Last time I did this, last night, it was super blurry and people just couldn't read it. But it's 2 pages. Someone will probably screenshot that and parse it out later or whatever. But yeah. I have a list, and occasionally someone will post on the subreddit, hey, could you do a video about whatever? And it kind of sparks interest, or something will happen. So voter ID was on my list for a really long time, and the election was coming up, the midterm election, and they had done all sorts of suppressive stuff. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do a video about this. Sovereign citizens also was on the list for a really long time, and then someone requested it, so I did that too. Any topics for history videos in the future? My next 3, I know what they are. I'm gonna do one on Christmas shopping, although it's not Christmas shopping. It's psychology stuff, and then universal basic income probably, and then parasocial relationships. So if you don't know what any of those things are, you will soon. So Scientology has not done anything about the video I put out. I was a little worried that they might copyright strike me, but nope, nothing, and they haven't been stalking me either. Could I make videos about Saudi Arabia? I honestly don't know enough about Saudi Arabia to do more than what I've already done. I made a video about the history of the modern Middle East recently, or not recently, like maybe a year ago, and that's probably the deepest I'll get into that. Yeah, rest in peace, Wheatley. Yeah, he was an awesome ferret, and I had trained him so well that he was basically just a dog in a cat-sized body. These guys, they're both 5 months old now, so they're still learning. They get the walks. They still don't quite get where they're not allowed to be in the house, but they'll get there. Why ferrets instead of a cat or a dog? So a few years ago, I lived in a house that had a no dogs or pets policy, or no dogs or cats policy, but caged pets were okay, and ferrets are caged. So I got a ferret, and I really like them. So that's it. Now, were I forced to pick between a dog or a cat, I would pick a dog. Do I agree with Trump on anything? I mean, like, we all agree that national security is important. I disagree with how he's doing it. Yeah. I don't often agree with you, but I still find you informative, intelligent, and entertaining. Keep up the good work. Am I a Trekkie? I'm not a Trekkie. I'm a Star Wars fan. And way back in the day, Trekkies and Star Wars fans rarely got along. I mean, I've seen the movies, and I used to watch Next Generation, but not a big fan now. But this part here, I don't often agree with you, but I find you blah blah blah. That's important to me. Like that, I really like that, and a lot of people came up to me. A lot of the people who came up to me at ThinkerCon said something similar, and that's what I want. I want followers who. See, I don't like calling you followers or fans. I need another name, so suggestions in the comments, please. I kind of jokingly call you those who know better on the subreddit, but I don't know, whatever. I don't want subscribers who believe or agree with me 100% of the time, because then you end up in an echo chamber, and you end up believing your own BS, and I don't want that. I want people that'll push back when they think I'm wrong, but stick around. Don't like, oh, you said this one thing I disagree with, so I'm gonna unsub. Like, that sucks. Don't do that. Most of the people I subscribe to, I don't agree with them always, and not all of their videos are 100% fantastic to me, but I still like them. So stick around, please. Get some sound foam. See, last night when I was testing out this mic, I was told that it's great. So if it's still bad, that's kind of disappointing because this wasn't cheap. How do I feel about my new following? It's way more than I ever expected. Way more. I don't even know how to put it into words. I hoped that someday I would get a silver play button, but I didn't think that I was actually going to do it. But I have one, and I'm about to have 300,000, which just blows my mind. Last night during the live stream, someone pointed out that that's almost the entire population of Iceland, which is amazing. I say I'm a moderate. When was the last time I voted Republican? It's been probably 10 years. 10? 10 years, probably. Thank you, Andy. Give the best pitch you have for people to become patrons. I mean, so I make a lot of videos that are controversial, as you likely know, if you've watched any number of them, and they get demonetized. It happens. I don't complain about it in a video. I don't make a big huff about it. A lot of the videos that are demonetized, I kind of knew would be demonetized. I can just show you the list, maybe. I don't know. I might have messed something up by clicking that. So like, yeah, I won't show the list, but Gandhi is demonetized, and the war on Xmas is demonetized. My video on Constantinople and the rest of the Middle East is demonetized. Just plain racist, which was about Confederate statues. My April Fool's jokes, my conspiracies video, all of those are demonetized. So Patreon helps like offset that cost, as well as sponsorships, which is why I do them as well. But you know, the two together is nice. And you get some perks. You know, if you happen to miss last night's secret live stream, you'll get to watch it. I do some behind the scenes stuff with Patreon Lens, which is kind of like Snapchat, but only for cool people. There's a Discord. Any old videos that you're like, hey, what happened to that video? It's on Patreon. So that's where that stuff is. And that's my Patreon pitch. Sorry, it wasn't very good. Am I looking forward to any new games? As soon as I finish this live stream, I'm going to go play Fallout 76. It seems like they patched it and everything is working nicely, so I'm trying to get into it. I am a little disappointed that it feels just like Fallout 4 again, but I'm only 2 hours into it, so we'll see. Hopefully it gets a little more immersive. I'm going to give it a chance. Bethesda has yet to let me down. Widescreen. Whoa. See? There. See, it jumps? It's not my fault. Let me scroll back up. I think I answered this last night. When I upgraded my current setup, I was considering getting an ultra-wide curved deal, but games don't necessarily work at all resolutions, so I got 2 monitors instead. What is it like experiencing such channel growth? Did I change the way you... Okay, did it change the way I feel about my videos, I'm guessing? What is it like? It's surreal. I was at work and I used to get like 20 comments a day, maybe. And like when I had 10,000 subscribers. But I was at work one day and like ding, ding, ding. It's like, what is going on? And I look at my phone, and by the time I could read a comment, another one and another one, and it was crazy. Let's see if I can pull up my Social Blade and show you kind of. Most everyone, they message me and they tell me that, hey, I've been watching your channel for 3 months, and I'm like, yeah, you and everyone else, buddy. You know, if I meet someone who actually says like I've been watching you for 2 years, I'd be like, wow, that's impressive. But most all of you. So yeah, in July, this is when. Let me see if I can pull this one up. At the beginning of July, I had 8,000 subscribers. Do I have the right screen up? Yeah, okay. I had 8,000 subscribers, and then all of a sudden, just boom, I was getting 10,000 a day or something like that, and it was crazy. I was losing my mind. I mean, okay, not literally. Like, I'm not gonna go out on the streets in San Diego or anything like that, but it was crazy. I was just sitting here like, I can't believe this is happening. This is awesome. Um, and it's still doing pretty well. I'm kind of surprised. So, anyway, how do I feel about growing the House of Representatives to 870 so that members only represent 870 people would be a lot. Um, Too much, I think. I would be okay with it being more proportional because like the Wyoming representative represents 500,000 people, and like California ones represent millions, like I don't even know, 5-6 million. So I'd be okay with evening it out more, I suppose, but 870 seems like way too many people. So sorry about Wheatley. I recently lost my dog of 14 years, so I feel ya. Let me scroll back and see. Okay. Wheatley was about to turn 7, which is right in the middle of the lifespan of 6 to 8. So I knew it was coming eventually, and that's, yeah. What's the male-female makeup of your subscribers and general audience? It's like 90% male, 10% female, which is pretty typical for a history type channel. Yes, I am going to make more history videos. I don't have any quite in the schedule right now. They are on the list, though. I know you mentioned you're for UBI. What do you think of negative income? I'm going to save that kind of stuff for the video itself rather than give that away. What kind of drugs do I have over there? So when I showed around my room here, I guess someone saw I have quite the pharmacy, and they're mostly like asthma and allergy stuff. I don't have anything too serious. What do I think about Fallout 76? You may have asked this before I answered it, so I'm still getting into it. Would you do a video on new designs for US currency? I did a video on currency already, so I'm not sure I would redo the topic anytime soon. Okay, here's everyone suggesting names for themselves. Viewers, community, knowing betterers. No, I'm going to veto that one. That's a hard veto. Do a video expanding on the idea of echo chambers. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna skip down a bit here. Reckon you'll continue your YouTube career into your 40s, 50s, etc. I can't help but wonder how creators think about their long-term prospects. Okay, so what a lot of longtime YouTubers kind of end up doing is getting jobs in more mainstream stuff. So PBS, for example, or BBC. I don't know. I might do that in the future. 40s and 50s are quite a ways off for me, and I can't imagine I'll be cool and with it by then. So maybe, maybe if something like that comes along, I'll consider it. What's my opinion on the Electoral College? Okay, so I talked about this a bit last night. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to the control room for this live stream. We either need to get rid of the Electoral College and just go to a popular vote, and we could do this without an amendment or constitutional change. It should be proportional. So rather than states being winner take all, it would be if you get 50% of California, you get half of their 54 electoral votes, or however many it is. If you get half of Montana, you get 2 of their 3, I guess. I don't know how they would. Anyway, if each state was proportional, it would work out much better than if it's all or nothing. Because a lot of states, like California and Texas, for example, those are the 2 biggest blue and red states. They really aren't like solid blue and red. They're 60-40 or 70-30. So if we divided up the electoral votes, it would work a lot better, I think. Oh, geez. Here we go with this question. Every live stream, I seem to have to talk about the 4K TVs video. One of these days, I'm not going to make a response to it aside from talking about it here. If you came out of that 4K TVs video thinking that I'm a technology denier or whatever, then you missed the point of that video. It's a video about vision. I'm not ignoring you. Hold on. I just want to pull it up here and show you. Where is it? Okay. So here's like my playlists, right? And I have a series on vision.
It's been artificial.
And you see, it's number 2 of 4. So this is a series on vision that I did. So I use 4K TVs because people know what resolution and frame rates are. They may not necessarily know what cones and rods are and retinal firing rates and all that stuff. So I took 4K TVs and I break it down in order to talk about your fovea and firing rates and all of that. I was not very impressed with his response because it was very much PC master race. I can tell the difference, so this guy must be blind. I don't wear glasses. I don't have contacts. I have pretty good vision. And my next TV is going to be a 4K TV once this one breaks. I'm not denying technology, but similarly,
Okay.
A few days ago, like a week ago, Linus Tech Tips made a 4K gaming is dumb video. So I expect the PC Master Race types to get all over this one as well. But maybe they won't because he has 7 million subscribers. He says the exact same things I do, just with a little better production value. That video, my 4K TVs video, was made a year and a few months ago. I had 1,000 subscribers at the time. So yeah, when he laughs at my Twitter poll, yeah, that is worth laughing at. But also back then I had very few followers. So I did the best I could. Likewise, he brings up how many billions of dollars are spent on 4K TVs in the last year, which doesn't tell the entire story. It's the market share that you need to look at. And in the last year, only 40% of new TVs sold were 4K TVs. So when people are in my comments like, haha, you can't even go to Walmart and find a not 4K TV anymore, you're lying. Because only 40% of them, which is not most yet, it will be. 4K TVs will be the standard, but not yet. It's going to take a while still, because TVs aren't something that people just buy the newest one every time. They wait until their current one breaks, and then they get a new one. They're kind of like cars in that way. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, okay. No. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I just wanted to... Okay, I can't read that. Have you ever been a Blue Falcon in the Army? No, but I did know quite a few of them. And for anyone who doesn't know what a Blue Falcon is, it's a buddy backstabber. So, yeah. Don't you think day is a relative thing? It's day for me and America, so that's why I said that. Is my name really that, or is that a cover-up? I don't know. I've been told that I should use a pseudonym, so maybe. Okay, let me catch up with the non-paying questions. Okay, here someone said 4K is only good if you're watching on a massive screen or sitting stupidly close, and I agree. And yeah, it on a massive screen. The thing is, like, people just don't buy 70 plus inch TVs. Those are very impractical for the average consumer. They're great for a tech junkie, but for a single mom with 2 kids who just wants to put on a Disney movie to get her kids to shut up, a huge expensive TV and ultra HD 4K Blu-rays just aren't high on their priority list. So, what's your take on the viability of alternate socioeconomic systems with less emphasis on market forces along the lines of wow. That's not a question I feel like I could answer necessarily in a live stream. Let me there, since I'm not showing anything necessarily big. So I said this last night. Pure capitalism works great in theory, just like pure communism works great on paper or whatever. Every time you play Monopoly, you're playing pure capitalism. The problem is that unlike Monopoly, when someone goes bankrupt, they don't just disappear from the game. They get angry and they get their pitchforks, and then you have a problem. So pure capitalism is a bad idea because the wealth inevitably accumulates to one person. That's the point of the game, and it's what's going to happen under pure capitalism. I don't think communism is the way to go, so it's probably, and I know I'm going to get flack for saying this, but socialism is what's in between capitalism and communism. So similar to what Western Europe has, I think we should kind of do here. I'm not big on anarchy, and I've only recently been introduced to some of these terms after following Maria the Witch, who did the voice in my last video, who read the Constitution and stuff. That nice soft-spoken British accent was Maria the Witch, and I definitely recommend watching her if you can. Am I interested in debating? I'm not a very good debater. I know I'm well-spoken in my videos, but those are scripted. Yeah, on my feet, I talk just like this. I pause, I think, I don't look at the camera. I'm not a very good debater like Destiny or Ben Shapiro. I just don't have that skill. I saw a question here. Did I know that Mr. Beat is doing a collab on his channel on Saturday? Yes, I do know. I know many people who are involved in that Project Odysseus, I think it's called, or Operation Odysseus. It's a big collaboration of all sorts of history YouTubers that I will be watching. I am not part of it, though. It just seemed, there's like 20 people in it, and it just seemed much too massive for me to get involved in while also needing to go to ThinkerCon and all sorts of other stuff. So I don't plan on Twitch streaming because I don't plan on streaming very often. I know here I am doing 2 streams in a span of 12 hours. Last night was, and I'll explain this again. But yeah, I don't want to be a game streamer. I don't want to make this a regular thing. It'll be more regular than it was. I used to like never do this. But now I'll do it more often. Do I like Vsauce? Of course I like Vsauce. I've always been a fan. Is it worth paying $50 more for a 4K monitor? I mean, $50 if you can afford it. I mean, why not? I guess. I bought these two monitors. They're both 1440p. Um, the 4K just didn't seem worth it to me. Love your videos. Logging off to study for school. You inspire me. Good job, Joshua. I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Don't study too hard, right? Sorry. I see CGB Grey as a channel that covers electoral systems and how to improve them. Which topic would you want your channel known for? I mean, I guess I've kind of, for a while there, I was known as the Genocide Channel, which isn't necessarily a moniker people want. I want to teach you about stuff that maybe you think you know already, but now you know better, I guess. As cheesy as that is to say. So debunking, I don't necessarily want to debunk either. That gets kind of tiring. I don't know. I don't know what I want my channel to be known for. I guess we'll figure that out together. Why am I such a darn good YouTuber? I don't know. I've been watching YouTube for a very long time. So I watch all sorts of stuff just to kind of pick up from other genres. You'll notice in my videos I kind of do a lot of shout outs to other YouTubers. Maybe not ones that you know. Like, I don't do Vsauce shout outs or memes. I just kind of, I don't know. I like bringing in aspects from other genres all the time. And apparently it works. I didn't think I was a good YouTuber, but you guys seem to be telling me that I am. So eventually I'll have to accept that. It doesn't accumulate for one person. Rich people need everyone else to buy things. Yes, that's true. And like, we're getting tinfoil hat level now, but some would say that's why they give you just enough to make you fear losing it. So that's all I'm going to say on that one. Thoughts on Brexit? I think it's a very bad idea, and I really wish they would re-vote on it. But I talked to a couple Brits at ThinkerCon, like Tom Scott, who thinks that even if there was a re-vote, it would go towards the leave again, which is unfortunate. It's a really bad idea, though. It's just going to hurt the British economy a lot. Why did I join the military? I thought I was doing my patriotic duty. Let me, yikes. It's a few of you. Oh, too big. Too big. How's that? Is that better? Okay. I thought I was doing my patriotic duty. My dad was in the military. His dad was in the military. I just kind of thought it was the thing to do. I don't approve of all wars that the U.S. has taken part of in the last few decades. That's all I'm going to say about that. No, don't ask. Okay. Don't ask, don't tell was repealed after I got out. But I will say that I served with people who we knew were gay. And it wasn't a problem. We knew it. We kept it to ourselves. They were fine. Yeah. From what I understand, that's not a weird experience either. Thanks for putting the thought into my question. Good. Will I ever talk about Russophobia? I know my government's done shady stuff, but now it becomes racist. Hate for Russian people is everywhere. I mean, I'm sorry, Vladimir, but we need a other, I guess. And it's more turning towards Islamophobia lately, or Sinophobia for China. But there's always going to be an other, and even if we got rid of Russophobia, it would just change to someone else. I'm not saying live with it. I'd hope that we stop that at some point. Um, but I don't know if Americans really hate Russian people. Maybe your government is a little shady. Um, yeah, I might look into that at some point. A video about the other in general. What are your opinions on Alan Savory and his theory? I don't know who that is, and I'd have to look it up. What's all this nonsense about not wanting to stream often? Shut up and take our money. I mean, like, this is very low effort. I make videos, education videos. Occasionally I'll do stuff like this, but I don't want to be a game streamer, and I don't want to. I know some people do weekly live streams, and good on them if their audience wants that. Um, I don't necessarily, though. So this isn't going to be a regular thing. I'm not looking for. I mean, the super chats are nice. I'm certainly not going to turn them down. But I don't necessarily want to do this all the time. Do I want to become Captain Disillusion? No. I mean, what he does is, video debunking, which is amazing. And I actually met him at ThinkerCon as well. He's a really humble guy, believe it or not. What area do I think I have the least knowledge in? Physics. Like, I watch Up and Atom and Science Asylum and Tibbies, and their stuff, like, it'll start off, I'm like, oh, okay, white dwarves, I know what those are. Let's watch the video. And then 30 seconds in, I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about or she's talking about anymore. So, yeah, I'm not good with the physics. Biology, I understand for the most part. Opinion on universal basic income, I will get to that. I'm making a video about that. It's in the works. What's my favorite meme? It changes. I know I want to be Tracer is kind of dying, but I'm a fan of that one, especially because I like Tracer. So I'm not big on literature. That's outside of my field. Thanks for talking with me during ThinkerCon. I really enjoy your videos. I'm not able to pull up your profile and see who you are, but I'm glad you showed up and wanted to talk to me. That's cool. Oh, don't worry. I'm not sick. I'm not dying. I don't know why I sound tired. I'm sorry. This is what unscripted knowing better sounds like. So that's just how it is. What do I think about the Book of Mormon? A video on Mormonism it's at the top of the list. So, yeah. Am I done doing tasks in videos? So, very early on, I used to. Jeez. Okay, there. Very early on, I used to make a pizza in the background or fold my laundry or something, and I thought that added something cool to the video. But my channel didn't grow until I ditched that idea. So I'm probably done with that stuff. It also made filming last way longer than it should. It used to take 3 days to film. See you in the next live stream. Have I watched Bo from the Fifth Column? Yes. There is a video. There's a video I saw recently that was really good, and I started sharing it with my conservative friends. Did he delete the video? I hope he didn't. But he made a video about 3 letters that should get white people to understand what Black Lives Matter is about. I wonder what happened to it. But it was really good. He talks about ATF and BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, and he relates that to why Black Lives Matter is so angry at local cops, and it was really good. So yes, I have watched him. Opinion on the Book of Mormon as a scholar, I like I said, I'm gonna do that in a future video, so I'm not gonna say it here. I just subbed literally a minute ago after finding your channel. Great stuff. As a ferret owner, I'm curious what you think of people keeping otters as pets, and would I ever get one? No, I wouldn't get one. They're not domesticated animals. They're wild animals, so leave them where they are. Have I ever considered running for office? No. Politics is not something. I will vote and I will inform, but I'm not going to be part of it myself. Thoughts on Article 13? I still don't know how it's going to affect me, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it yet. I'm not. I haven't seen much about how it's going to be implemented. This is okay. Who's a better general? I don't have an answer for this. I'm not big on battle history. There are plenty of channels who are kings and generals and Historia Civilis and stuff like that. They're your battle channel people if that's what you want. I don't have an opinion on who's a better general. I mean, Grant won, so there's that. Sorry if that didn't quite answer it. Thoughts on the channel Counter Arguments? I have not heard of that channel. Any tips for boot camp? I went to basic training 15 years ago, so I'm sure it's very different now. Just know that it will end, right? It's only a few weeks, and then once you're done, you're done. And military life isn't at all like basic training all the time. So it's a temporary thing to get you to learn how to be in the military, and just keep on keeping on, I suppose. My favorite subject in high school was history. Would I accept a spot on the H3 podcast if it came? I can't imagine that one would show up, but I'd also be stupid not to accept it. This isn't super secret. Yeah, I know it was announced, but weirdly enough, I have just as many people watching now as I did in the middle of the night last night. So, and it's not going to be up after this. It'll be on Patreon. So, did I skip something? I did. Okay. Do I consider myself a celebrity? No. I'm mildly YouTube famous. I'm still getting used to that idea as well. I showed my Social Blade a few minutes ago. This is all a recent development. I had 10,000 subscribers 4 months ago, and it's grown quite a bit. Am I a Democrat or a Republican? I have voted for both parties. I am in the middle, but more recently I tend to vote Democrat and agree with Democrats more often. What if you lived in a country where military is obligatory? They don't ask you when you're 18 and it's constitutional. Many countries do that. Yeah, and here in the United States, you have to sign up for the selective service, which is something that men's rights activists get angry about, even though the selective service hasn't been used in 60 years. In theory, yeah, you could be drafted. I don't know how I feel about mandatory service. It works in the countries that it's used. I don't know if it would work here. We have an all-volunteer force now, and we seem to be doing all right with it. I mean, and our military spending is more than the next 10 countries combined or something. So our military is fine the way it is. Will I ever make a new ferret video? Maybe. It's not on the list. I feel like I did a ferret history video and I did that April Fool's video. That's kind of enough, I think. Are there more watchers now or last night? It seems about the same, to be honest. I'd have to look at the numbers again. iPhone or Android? I'm an Android person. Who's your Overwatch main? Mostly Reinhardt, and then Mercy, and then Junkrat, in that order. What's my education background? Did I go to college? Yes, I have 2 degrees. First one is in secondary social studies education, and then I taught for a few years, and then I went back and I got a degree in psychology, cognitive psychology, not clinical. So I worked in an EEG lab where we tested frontal resting asymmetry and stuff. And cognitive psychology is how the brain receives and processes information. So that's why I did a series on vision, and I might eventually do hearing and other senses. But that's the field of psychology that I was into, not let's solve your problems and not disorders and stuff. I mean, I know about that stuff. You're required to take those classes, but that wasn't necessarily my focus. Are you and ContraPoints literally I'm nowhere near as good as ContraPoints. Nowhere. Not even close. I mean, we may have similar numbers, but she is in a whole league well above me. What do you think about James Alsop? He's a Nazi. And so I made that subverting the narrative video where I called him out for his haircut, and a lot of people were like, oh, so a haircut makes you a Nazi now, blah, blah. And the thing is, he cut his hair like that specifically for Unite the Right. He cut it to look like a Nazi so that when he's in a group of Nazis, he looks like them. That's not his normal haircut. His normal haircut is similar to mine, maybe a little longer. But he cut it like that specifically for that. So, yeah. Can you find that video, or at least the channel? You got to be more specific here. So I'm sorry, I'm missing it. I don't know what you're asking about. Can you cover the Kosovo War and Rhodesia? Balkanization has been on my list for a very long time. I showed that last night. So yes, eventually. Rhodesia, on the other hand, that's a touchy one because it's an apartheid state and all, and oof. Okay, do you have a video of yours that you'd like to take back or rewrite? There are no videos on the whole that I would take back. Let me pull it up just so you can see the list as I go through. Oops, nope. I wouldn't take back, and the ones that I would take back, I guess I already have. I've unlisted them or whatever, and replaced them with new ones. So like this gun control, there's an old version of gun control that I took back, just because I wanted to do it better. Taxes also I've redone several times, but there are parts of videos that I wish I had phrased better or something. Subverting the narrative, for example, is one of them. Jordan Peterson is not a Nazi, and clearly Ethan from H3H3 is not a Nazi. I wish I made that more clear in the video. The point of putting them in this video was that the narrative that they're telling, that I take and put in the video, helps neo-Nazis. So they are unwittingly helping neo-Nazis, and that's the point. I don't think Jordan Peterson is doing it on purpose to secretly help the alt-right, because he's not a fan of the alt-right, but when he tells a story about how Hitler was more evil than you could possibly imagine, it helps them. They like that because it removes him from the realm of reality. And before, people are going to say, oh, he says all the time that anyone could turn into Hitler. So that's not what he's saying in that lecture. So that may be what he is saying in that lecture, but people cut that lecture out and they title it "How Hitler Was Even More Evil Than You Think." And there's a few versions of this. Okay, why he bathed even more? Okay, I hadn't seen that one. But the alt-right takes what he says and they love it because he's saying what they want. So I wish I had made it more clear. Jordan Peterson is not a Nazi or a member of the alt-right, but his story helps them. And there's a couple others where I've made mistakes. This out of context, how to make bad history worse video. I completely get how much the people in internment camps were being paid. Way wrong. Turns out me and Mr. Beat were both looking at the same incorrect source, which was unfortunate. I'd also word the 4K TV video differently, but I'm not going to delete it. Yeah, that's probably a good enough survey of that. Sorry, I want to get back to the super chats. I don't want to lose those. Okay. Great videos, keep it up from... I'm not even going to try. Why do you usually indicate the number 3 with your thumb and first 2 fingers? Okay, so I make sure I do this right. I usually do 3 like this. And that's because it's a sign language thing. I used to work at a school that had a number of deaf students. So I learned sign language, and it's 1, 2, 3, but then back to 4. So that's how I do 3 now. That's how I do 3 now because this is actually 6 in sign language. So yeah, I do it like this. It's just a sign language thing. There's no other hidden meaning to it. I've been conditioned to do it that way. What do I think of SJWs? I mean, I kind of am one, I guess. I'm not... There are some SJWs who are worthy of laughing at. Like the humongous one. She was clearly in the wrong in that case. Or the one who's yelling at the Uber driver who has the dancing hula girl. Also not worth... the anger she had there. But I think most SJWs, the 90% of them are just people that want you to stop saying the N-word or stop stop using racial or sexual language, I guess. Most SJWs are fine, and they just want to make the world a better place. It's the minority that ends up on H3H3 or PewDiePie or whatever else. They never make fun of the neo-Nazis on there for some reason. Yep. Okay, I don't want to miss anything. Okay. Maybe do a video on pay in the Soviet Union. People think everyone got paid the same. Yeah. That's a big misconception. Russia and the Soviet Union was not pure communist or even really close. So no, they weren't all paid the same. They weren't, you were given vouchers like food stamps, like a version of food stamps, but I might do that, yeah. Will ever see more videos per week? No, probably not. 2 weeks seems to be about my ability. Beyond that, it gets very stressful. Okay. Do you think sites like Gab are legitimate sites for free speech or just hate speech? That's just hate speech. I mean, that's what Gab's made their name doing, is like, all right, if you got banned from Twitter, come here and you can say the N-word all you want. So, yeah, that's what that place is for. There are a few other competitors to Twitter that have tried, and they end up just being hate speech places. Will the color changing pillows continue? That was a pretty good meme, huh? Maybe. What do I think of epigenetics? Okay, epigenetics and I'm assuming that's eugenics. Epigenetics and eugenics are completely different things. Epigenetics like turns on certain genes or makes them express more or less. And what do I think about it? It exists. Eugenics, though, is we want white people to be superior, or we want to get rid of all the people below a certain IQ, and I disagree with that stuff. Have I thought about doing a correction video? No. Okay, I have thought about it, and I'm not going to do it. Because not everyone watches that stuff. So if I made a correction video like you 1,000 people or perhaps more will watch it, but not everyone will. And say in my 4K TVs video, I do make a mistake, which was not pointed out by any of the people who made responses, where I say that 1080p is 1.5 times the size of 720p. No, it isn't. It's actually significantly more. But if I were to make a correction video, the people who watch that aren't gonna like, oh, I wonder if he made a correction at some point. No, so it would be kind of a waste. I mean, if you read it for curiosity and nothing else, that's fine. Don't believe it, though, please. What do I think of Sargon? He's one of the people I was referring to earlier who ends up in an echo chamber and believes their own BS. He thinks he's a centrist, which is hilarious. And he has a following who all believe him as well, so he just reinforces that, which is why I don't want that. I want you to disagree with me. I want you to push back when it's reasonable to do so. Why did I leave teaching, and what was your experience? I went back to get my second degree because I had time left on my VA or my GI Bill. You get 10 years to use it up, or at least I did for my version. You get 10 years to use it up, and I was getting to the point where it was like, well, I either need to use it or it's going to disappear forever. So that's why. The lowest point in my life, sadly, when I got back from Iraq, probably. It's pretty low. Okay, I'm not answering those questions. Yes, I am going to answer non-super chats. I mean, I'm not like, I don't want super chats. If you do them, that's great, and thank you very much, and I'm going to answer your question because you paid money. But yeah, I'm going to read all or most of the questions that I can. Can I make more videos about other nations? I would love to. It's a research problem, though. I can't... I don't have a lot of time to like super deep dive on every country. Like I know enough about the UK to make a few videos on it, but it's hard. I always feel like I'm gonna get something wrong when I do that stuff, so. I don't. Okay, so what are my thoughts on Vsauce going to YouTube Red? I'm not. Good for him, I guess. I love Vsauce, so if he was offered a contract for YouTube Red, I mean, I would do the same thing, so I can't fault him for it. What do I think the best video I've made? Okay, what do you think is the best video I've made? Recently, I think it's the Scientology episode. I put so much time into researching that, and I think it came out really well. So, Scientology right now. Overall, I mean, I like the Titanic video also, and playing the victim. I put a lot of time into those also. Do I think InfoWars should be banned on Twitter and Facebook? I mean, they already are, but yes, I do think so. InfoWars is terrible. I'm not going to answer where. Sorry. Keep watching or do history homework. Well, I'm only going to do this for another 20 minutes. So if you can hold off on your history homework, then yeah. What are my thoughts on Philip DeFranco as a news source? Philip DeFranco does not do news. I know he keeps saying that, but he does like celebrity news and YouTube news, which I guess is news, but I'm not going to go to him to find out what's going on in Syria or more about the Khashoggi killing and stuff. I'm going to go to reputable, NBC, CNN, stuff like that. He's an entertainment source who happens to cover news. So, and I mean, just like everyone else, he has his own biases. How hard do you find it to be centrist in such a volatile political environment? Personally, I am not centrist. I have my own views on things. So I'm skipping, sorry. I have my own views on things personally. So I try to, on the channel at least, I try to present both sides. And I said this last night, but that's what I try to do with my channel is say gun control. I don't necessarily agree with all the future possibilities of gun control, but I'm going to talk about them. And I'm also going to talk about other possibilities that people have put forward that I disagree with and at least tell you why they're wrong. So when you watch someone like Steven Crowder, I've seen his name pop up a few times. Here he is. Or PragerU or whoever else, they will tell you just what they believe. They're not going to tell you, and here's what they believe and why they're wrong. They always leave that part out. And that's when you should think like, hey, maybe there's something shady going on with their argument. So I try to present all sides. And even if personally I disagree, I'm going to present them all. Why don't you use annotations to correct mistakes? Because they've disabled annotations. You can't use them anymore. And they're actually going to get rid of the old ones as well. Make a video on Italy or France? Okay. Any chance of a video on Jim Jones and Jonestown? Maybe. I mean, I kind of covered it a little bit in the eschatology video. But do you like living and growing up in Hawaii? Well, okay, I grew up in Hawaii, and it was very interesting. It was a multicultural experience. I didn't know that racism was still a thing until I came to the mainland. My mouth is getting dry, sorry. Will I play StarCraft on stream? No. I'm not very good, so no, I don't want to show off my mediocre gaming ability. Where's my YouTube avatar from? I have an artist friend, Poe the Wonder Cat, who drew it. He does commission work, so hit him up if you're interested. Do I consider Wikipedia to be a reliable source? Yes. I know someone who works or used to work for Wikipedia. If you change something to be like wildly inaccurate, it's going to get reverted within minutes. So it is a reliable source. I wouldn't source it for your college papers, but it is reliable. Just as much, if not more so, than encyclopedias. So, can I do a World War I video? People have been requesting that. So maybe it's the gears are turning on that one. I'm more of a fan of PewDiePie than T-Series, just because I don't watch T-Series. I don't know. I mean, they're a music channel, right? Like, Okay, so this question right here. When you do make a video about the Book of Mormon, can you not make it like most other videos that make Mormons out to be evil cultists? Mormonism is not a cult. I can say that for sure. They're not a cult. You can't, when you go through like the bite model on what a cult is, Mormonism just doesn't check enough of the boxes, like Scientology does, and even certain pyramid schemes and MLMs do. Mormonism is not a cult, but I try not to. Like with my Scientology video, there's a certain aspect to making fun of them. So if I make a video on Mormons, there's gonna be a few jokes in there because that's just how I do. But I will try my best not to make them out to be evil cultists. Name of that channel that debunked other videos. If this is in reference to what I talked about last night, it would be Miles Power, but there's several channels that do that. Thank you, Zach. Other YouTubers you recommend to watch. So I have my, just make sure I don't miss any others. I have my subscriptions public on the Knowing Better channel. Okay, you should be able to see all of them. Yeah, there we go. So I recommend all of these channels. Definitely go through my subscriptions list and check all of these people out. Yeah, I like all of these channels. So make sure to look at that when you get a chance. Like in 13 minutes when I end the stream. So 13-minute warning. Thanks for being great and reasonable. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, thanks. Did you vote for Trump, Hillary? Blah, blah, blah. Wow. Did I vote for any of these people? Yes. Yeah. I kind of addressed this earlier. You can't find my Scientology video. It's called Clearing the Planet. And Scientology is in the title. Maybe I shouldn't put that over there. When I search for Knowing Better Scientology, it's right there. So I don't know what's holding you up. Okay, I'm going to read this in my head rather than out loud because I feel like this might be a trick. I don't have enough information to answer that question, so I'm not going to try. Is YouTube my only job? Yes, I quit my day job 2 months ago and I do this full time now. Yes, I do watch PewDiePie, or I used to. You know, I kind of stopped since he got into a formula where it's just the same video over and over. Wow. Okay, my voice is starting to go, so we have 12 minutes left. Make it 12 minutes. Yes, I do watch Let Me Know. In fact, I used to watch him when his name was Top 10 Memes. So I've been on YouTube a very long time as a viewer. I apologize that I wasn't able to answer your question. I mean, if you've been watching the chat, it goes by pretty quick and it jumps like that. So I can't answer them all. I'm sorry. Your thoughts on Last Week Tonight and John Oliver? I really like the show. I wish he would mix up his jokes a little more. He tends to do the same joke a lot, which, I mean, I guess I do too sometimes. Yes, I'm subscribed to Sean. I really enjoy his channel. He was kind of the inspiration behind my Columbus one, his style, anyway. My opinion on the war in Ukraine, it's a mess. That's what. Yes, you're right. Our politics is very leaning right. So, okay, I've I'm only going to do this for another 10 minutes, so I think I will kind of explain what this is again, just for people who came in late or whatever. Last night, I did a random live stream, and I called it Super Secret Randomly Scheduled Thing, because I got a new microphone, and people who had watched the interview I did and my Q&A live stream were like, "Oh, your audio sucks." So I got a new microphone, and I set it all up, and I was like, well, this is going to be great for the live stream that I do in a year or whatever. But then I was like, you know what, why don't I just do one now? So last night I said I was going to do one. And my friend Donnie, who is a mod here and elsewhere, said like, oh, if only 20 people would show up anyway, which was perfect because I just wanted to test out my mic. But it turns out 1,000 people showed up, and I ended up answering questions for an hour and a half. I decided that it was just going to stay a super secret randomly scheduled thing. But then this morning when I woke up, there was all these messages about how they like, what was this? I got a notification in the middle of the night and now it's not available. What's going on? So I made it a $1 patron reward that you can see those now in the these things afterwards. And I don't plan on making this a regular thing. Yeah, I'm not a streamer. I'm not going to stream myself gaming or anything like that. But occasionally I'll hop on here and have a chat if something big is going on. And I will answer some more questions. So you don't need to say goodbye or anything. But yeah, this isn't going to be a regular thing. It happens to be right now because I wanted to do one during the daytime and let people know what this is and stuff. But yeah, occasionally I'll come on and answer questions, and it will disappear from the channel. It will go on to Patreon for $1, and if you came in late, you'll be able to catch it that way. So that's what this is. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn into a streamer. This is a rare thing that happened to be 2 in a row for today only. Because you guys are cutting into my Fallout 76 time. So, I understand why you would dodge me. I'll just say that I endorse a certain man who said facts don't care about your feelings. So that's a Ben Shapiro thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't give too much time to Holocaust denial. You may not be denying the Holocaust, but you're questioning it. And I don't think it's worth questioning it either, because it just leads to denial. Video about the actual non-propaganda version and the situation in Venezuela and how it came to be. Since it's a developing thing, it's really hard. It would be difficult for now. So, yeah. Is Adam Ruins Everything a credible source? For the most part, yes. Oh, it's okay. For the most part, yes. I really like Adam Ruins Everything, but occasionally he gets things wrong, like Columbus. And I don't think he did it on purpose. I think, he has a team of writers who just looked up what they wanted or what they had heard before, and they just put it out there again. And every time the Columbus story gets told, it gets just a little worse. It used to be like, oh, he was a genocidal maniac, but now he's also stupid, and that's not enough. So now he thinks the world was shaped like a pear, which none of those things. So the echo is gone with the new microphone. Good. Do I have a problem with furries? No. In fact, I'm friends with a few of them. I'm not one, but I don't mind it. Which country, in your opinion, is responsible for World War One? Germany, I guess. I'd have to dig into it a bit more, but if I really was like, which one blew it up into a world war, it would be Germany. Otherwise, it probably would have been another regional conflict. Would you recommend military service? What did you do in the military? I was in a field artillery unit and then a signal unit. Would I recommend military service? No. That's one of those things that you either go into it wanting to do it or you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't be talked into it. Mike sounds great. Love your content. Thanks. It was worth half a month's rent. Yes, this was a very expensive microphone, and I was kind of worried that it wasn't going to fix the problem. So, would I ever consider doing a video on the history of Satanism? Yes, I would consider doing that. Why do you keep asking if I concealed carry? I'm not gonna answer that. Or where I live and stuff. I addressed this in my Q&A video. I am not a vlogger. I don't invite you into my home, in this situation, and of course in my living room, but I'm not like, sup guys, let's go for a walk and stuff. Like, no, that's not what I do, right? And there are those people, so if that's what you're looking for, watch them. I'm an educational channel, and I realize that I'm also an entertainer, but there's a boundary there. So I'm not going to tell you where I live. I'm not going to tell you my name. I'm not going to tell you if I concealed carry. All that kind of stuff. Like, come on, guys. All right. A bird truther. I've heard of that. Is that like the fake conspiracy theory that birds aren't real or something? Opinion on H Bomber Guy. He's a great channel. I wish he put out content more regularly. Even the weird stuff that I didn't think I was gonna like speed running is awesome. That video is amazing, and even at the end, I'm like happy with the guy. It's awesome. Do I actually listen to podcasts, and if so, which ones? I listen to A Piece of String because there's someone in there that I enjoy. I don't listen to podcasts otherwise, though. I'm just starting to get into that. Do I have any strong opinions on Common Core? Yes, I think that it kills teacher creativity and the ability to change your curriculum to fit the class. Whew. Okay. All right, so we have like 2 minutes left here. So, if you have any like final questions, now would be the time. Why is tech? I'm not gonna answer. Am I vegan? No. Being a vegan is one of those things that like I know is a good thing to do, but I just don't do it, and I feel bad about it. I should though. Do I have a favorite Green Brothers content piece? That changes over time. Like I used to like SciShow, and I used to like Crash Course, and I used to, I switch between them. I go through phases. Okay, so Fallout 76 or Fallout 4? Okay, that's a good one to end on since I'm gonna go back to playing here in a minute. Fallout 4 is great. I loved it, played it for several hundred hours. So far, Fallout 76 just feels like the same game, so I'm a little disappointed. But hopefully the story will pick up as I go along. I'm looking forward to that. It's it is an MMO. It feels like, you don't have the same customization so far. I'm only like 2 or 3 hours into it, so I can't give a full opinion on it. Mad props for not playing the Holocaust. Yeah. The thing is, I'm wise to the Holocaust denier game and the alt-right memes, so it doesn't work on me. I know what they're asking, so it's easy to spot. And I learned that from Sean and Three Arrows and ContraPoints. Those are very good channels if you're interested in figuring out what they mean when they ask certain questions. Who did you side with in your first playthrough of Fallout 4? I didn't get into Far Harbor, actually. It's yeah. But I sided with the Brotherhood of Steel. So, okay. All right. I'm gonna end it here. I appreciate everyone showing up to my super secret randomly scheduled thing. These aren't gonna be regular. I don't know when the next one will be. Probably not for a while. This was more or less just an explanation of what the last night one was and how these will work in the future. So this will be on Patreon if you missed the beginning, but it won't be on the channel itself. But I appreciate everyone showing up. I appreciate the chat being relatively Nazi free. And I hope you guys all have a good Thanksgiving.